horrific vlogs. We've all made them. What terrible vlogs have in common is usually a small number of things that can be easily sorted if you know what they are. So let me share with you a vlog that was sent to us by one of our subscribers. Here's literally the worst vlog we've ever seen. What's up, guys? Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to my channel. Drop shipping your way to financial freedom. I publish 3 videos a week, so why not like and subscribe this one. Something interesting happened to me on the way here, as I was on my way to the shop to get some milk, and this guy came tearing past me. So if you do all that, you should be able to 1 million X your drop shipping. You might have some issues that I can't help with, but let's look at the 3 categories where things could have been easily improved. 1. Content. The fastest way to improve your content is through research and scripting. Having that structure will quickly stop you from just copying what top YouTubers are doing. What's up belongs to Peter McKinnon, and there's loads of similar catchphrases from others that may be tempting to borrow from. Don't. Your own voice will emerge over time. The hard work is in the scripting and having something of value to say. Research of your audience and their searches through tools like Google Keyword Planner and TubeBuddy should be your first port of call. This would tell you that a reaction video isn't something that people search for or need if they're wanting to learn about how to create their own dropshipping scam scheme. Throwing in who you are and what the channel is called is totally redundant. Your name can be in a super, and if they don't know what your name is, it doesn't matter. Meanwhile, housekeeping comments such as requests to like and subscribe and how often you post are best left to later in a video. I know there's plenty of bigger YouTube channels that get it in early, but they've got an established audience and channel authority. Small creators don't. You want to give your audience as many reasons as possible to keep watching your video. Get straight to the promise of the title. If it's a how-to video, show them how to immediately. Don't delay. No interesting things that happened to me today. No, meet my cat chairman meow. Just get to the point and let your research shine through. Your audience will thank you in extended watch times, likes, and comments. That doesn't mean there can't be any personality, but be warned, big YouTube channels have an established audience that are familiar with them. Casey Neistat can take you on a road trip to meet his son where pretty much nothing happens, but he's created a universe of references, a playful aura that's always full of possibility, and often some deeply personal reflections that make it all worthwhile, but only if you've been following his channel for ages. That's what you're up against, so maybe don't make the personal aspects a big part of your content until you've found your voice and audience. 2. Production. The first thing I always notice is when the audio quality is average. Usually this is from using the built-in mic on a camera. You've just got to get the mic close to your voice, and that can mean a simple wired lav into the camera, or ideally a shotgun mic just out of frame overhead. Either way, it's about eliminating as much background noise as possible. The more your content needs to compete with external noises like cars or people in an outside setting, the more directional your mic ought to be. So camera-mounted shotgun mics are popular, but they do limit you to only having your camera about arm's length away for best audio. The next thing to look at is this lighting setup that was used. The room lights overhead are casting pretty horrible shadows, like filming outside in the middle of a sunny day. Plus, the lights are yellow-green, as most fluorescent lights are, and this won't match the daylight coming in from the window. Turn your room lights off and get dedicated lighting, even if you aren't using daylight from an open window. Using the fully auto settings on a camera will save you from thinking about what aperture, ISO, or color temperature, but it will likely put everything in focus and look quite flat. You need your subject, usually you, to pop as the most important thing in a scene, and that means getting to grips with basic lighting and the manual settings on your camera. At its simplest, you need a source of light next to your camera, and ideally a stronger light source behind you on the opposite side of the front light and out of shot. When you combine this with a low aperture number and then adjust the brightness so that the whites don't look washed out, you can have a much slicker looking image. Adding a practical light in the background is a nice touch. Some people use side lamps with tungsten yellow bulbs. I've got some neon lights to create depth. 3, presenting. Confidence on camera is so often sold as a either you've got it or you've not kind of thing, and it's just nonsense. A lack of confidence is simply not knowing that there's a craft to presenting, and learning it is much like learning to ride a bike, but probably easier. The protocols for most YouTube content, and certainly for the vlog style of content, is right down the barrel of the lens like this. Now, I don't think a lot of people know just how distracting any eye movement is in this style. In day-to-day conversations, when people have a recall moment, their eyes go up to one side or the other. And of course, they'll break eye contact to do this. This isn't a problem because in real life, everyone's peripheral vision is quite wide. So the person you're talking to is perfectly aware you're not looking somewhere else, but rather doing recall. Also, we don't expect a performance when talking to somebody. It's a kinetic dance between 2 or more people in which you all participate. As much as people do feel involved when watching an engaging YouTuber, they are not actively participating in real time, even if they are making comments. So it's a kind of performance that is being watched. In that case, eye movements for recall or anything else break the fourth wall illusion and will be a distraction to the viewer. The occasional look away is not going to matter, but if you keep doing it as you try to remember what to say next, you're going to appear shifty and uncomfortable on camera. This is the single biggest difference you can make to the appearance of confidence when presenting to camera. Real confidence will come as you get more familiar with seeing this work, but make sure you don't try to cheat the protocol by having your notes off to one side, hoping that the odd glance down to them isn't going to be noticed by an audience. They will. I mean, they won't be writing angry comments like, your eye line was breaking the fourth wall, but they notice a lack of connection with you versus other confident presenters. So take the time to get really disciplined on this one. 2 ways of approaching it practically. 1, write your script and then put it to one side, presenting it only in a few sentences at a time so you don't have to remember too many lines. Then cut those chunks together in the edit. Or 2, write your script and put it on a teleprompter. We resisted this method for a long time because we wanted to have the energy and spontaneity of a conversation, albeit one-way conversation, but we thought that a teleprompter would make us wooden. Well, it can, but if you introduce some basic protocols to keep you from falling into that trap, it can solve the problem of those eyeline movements that occur when you're doing recall to access your next line of thought or line of script in your head. If you do go ahead and use a teleprompter, remember to practice the panto mode exercise where you periodically do a panto take that's really silly and over the top. Don't use that take, but watch it back to discover what level of energy is needed before it goes from being energetic and spontaneous to awkward drunk uncle. And then use a teleprompter at that level of energy. Now, that's what happened when my daughter Ruby was forced, in the name of experimentation, by dint of spending a day with me in the studio during lockdown, to present using a teleprompter. So let's see how she went.
Hi, I'm Ruby, Dave's daughter, and I've been wheeled in just for this scene to justify having me at the booth all day. You see, a teleprompter makes it so easy to present that even an 11-year-old can do it. It helps if the 11-year-old isn't given too many big words like and yeah. But other than that, it's a piece of cake, which is just what my dad owes me now.
Never work with children or animals, they say. But that was great because Ruby just used all the protocols correctly and wasn't expected to remember her lines or keep her eyeline correct. All of that was built into the way it was shot using a teleprompter and a bit of panto mode. We've also made a dedicated video on looking natural with a teleprompter and also how to make an old camera look pro, which includes more lighting tips.